And we're back. Do we like that one?
Yeah. Good to
Okay.
see you,
It's pretty
Keegan.
Yeah,
Oh.
thanks.
Wait, that's not Keegan.
Hold on a second. We've finally replaced Keegan. Welcome back, Dan.
Thank you for having me back.
First two-timer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
Dan the
right.
Risible.
Uh-huh.
That would be his name in the
What's that mean, Rhys?
1100s. Easy to make laugh. Or is prone to laughter.
Okay.
A
like it.
laughing person.
It's good.
Dan. When I think of Dan, I think Happy Dan.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
happy with that. There's
Dan.
worse things that could be said, so I'm
Yeah,
happy
exactly.
with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just get right into it.
Let's
Let's
do
go.
it.
Let's
Yeah,
do it.
all right. Well, let me just start this off by saying, or let me just get right into it
Okay.
by making this statement. In 1989, Pepsi had the 6th largest submarine fleet in the world.
What?
How about that?
What?
Pretty interesting, huh?
Who had the 5th? Was it Coke?
No, I didn't look up
Oh,
any
okay.
of the things. But no was the answer. So you're probably wondering, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
And today I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, of course, I'd say we're all familiar with the Soviet Union and the USSR and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
Relatively.
I think they fell in 90, I don't know when, 99 or 2000, I don't know, something like that.
Didn't
But
look it up.
Yep.
probably earlier.
The 80s? No, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're right. We'll get to it. My fact is there somewhere.
You
But
can get a fact check for us.
Keegan's
Not here.
Keegan's sick today. Rest in peace.
That's
As we know, don't say that. Things like Coca-Cola are very, really large capitalist things. Or when you think of that from the Soviet Union's perspective,
Yep.
you can imagine how something like the brand Coca-Cola wouldn't be allowed into Russia, at that time, not Russia, but that area.
Okay.
Yep.
So Coke wasn't in
So
Russia.
Coke was a big no-no.
So they had their own Russian alternative or something.
So they had to
or-
they kind of had to sneak in something else because you weren't able to just have Coke sold within there.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's where I would think they would start doing submarines so they could take them undetected into these
Hey, maybe that was part of the deal, but I
Full
don't know.
narcos delivery of.
Well, we'll go back to 1959,
Okay.
and
Yep.
the USSR held an exhibition in New York, and just to show things that they make, whether it's brands or products that they have made, and they want to show the rest of the world,
Yep.
but America. And America did the exact same thing in Moscow, in a town called Sokolniki.
What'd you call me?
Sokolniki in Sokolniki Park in Moscow.
Uh-huh.
And so the US exhibition showed things like cars, fashion,
Yep.
and just products from big brands that are still around today,
Okay.
like Disney. And
Why were they showing them off there? Why are they showing
IBM?
Disney off?
just showing American products.
Entertainment.
Oh,
It's like an
okay,
exhibition of
sorry.
American things. They were in Moscow.
I was thinking
Hey, you're on
we're
track
still
now.
in New York and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was
We're back in
okay,
we're in
sorry.
Moscow now. And IBM and
Yep.
of course Pepsi.
Oh.
So it also included an entire model of an affordable American house, which Nixon, who was there, proclaimed that this was what Americans can all buy and afford. So they propped up a faux
Oh yeah.
household.
And they had all the foods that they have in their pantry and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I have heard of that actually.
So-
yeah.
Well, that brings me to my next point. It also, like I said, it included the model, and apparently there was a famous debate called the kitchen debate that
Uh-huh.
I had never heard of until researching this. But apparently it was when Nixon, who was vice president at the time, and the Soviet first secretary called Nikita Khrushchev,
Okay.
Yep.
and they had a heated debate of why capitalism or communism were better. Obviously, Russia was
Okay.
capitalism. I mean, communism.
Yep.
And Nixon was debating.
Yeah.
But they just had a bit of a,
Why was it called a kitchen debate?
because they were in the kitchen of the model house.
Ah.
And there are a couple of photos of that. Now,
Who do you side with in that?
well, we'll get there because Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev got a taste for that sweet, sweet Pepsi Cola. Personally, I'm a Coca-Cola fan myself, but you know,
Yeah, I'll say Coke.
Yeah.
not the leader of the USSR, so you know.
Yeah. I don't mind Pepsi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We need,
Controversial.
like
We need a
opposing
communist.
views.
Yeah, in the-
We need a communist to.
Where I grew up in the Middle East, Pepsi
counter
was sort of the number one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
bigger. It was more popular than Coke, I reckon. So
Where was
Kind
that?
in Dubai.
Maybe Pepsi been making them deals.
I don't know.
Okay.
Submarines. I don't know.
Who knows?
Funny that you mentioned Dubai, as we had an episode about Dubai recently.
Yeah, no, I
Mm.
heard that one. That was
Mm.
interesting. That was the about the palm.
Yeah, the palm.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, they were mentioning about the water, how it was like really stagnant.
Yeah.
I actually swam in that water,
Oh,
Wow.
and it wasn't like didn't look bad, but because it's like sectioned off from the rest of the sea, it was like a 45-degree day.
Mm.
The water is warmer than like air. It
Oh,
just
really?
boils.
Wow.
Like it was like burning your skin.
Oh my lord.
But anyway, sorry.
Hey, no, I
That
like
apologize.
that.
Yeah,
That
no,
was,
it
yeah,
was,
that
good
was
insight.
interesting.
I heard that was pretty crazy. Yeah.
wow.
Well, believe it or not, this man called Donald M. Kendall, who was a Pepsi executive,
Uh-huh.
he kind of approached the American embassy and was like, he formally met with Nixon and said, like, as a Pepsi ambassador, we need to get this dude. We need him on Pepsi. Like, we need to get it in his hand. We need him all on it. And there was a beautiful
they
photo
try Sprite.
taken. Beautiful photo taken that I'll show you guys now, and then I'll pop it on the
Yeah,
pop
it'd
it
be
on the
Instagram.
gram.
Yeah.
But there is our executive Pepsi man pouring Khrushchev or whatever
There's Nixon in the
another
background.
Pepsi. Yeah, there's Nixon right there.
So is Khrushchev the guy with the hat, or is he?
No, Khrushchev's the guy pouring him another Pepsi. So just
Okay.
to make sure that he's loaded up.
I thought when you were saying that, like, you know how there's the Pepsi mascot? It was called like Pepsi Man,
Oh yeah,
and it
yeah.
was like a big muscly guy, and it was like
Ah.
he was just had like Pepsi's logo all over him. Did
when
that,
was
like-
this? Like,
I think it was like a video game.
It was a 90s
Ah.
video game, I believe.
Yeah,
okay.
I was.
You could
picturing
get it in
the
like
Pex-
cereal boxes. And
Yeah, I was
things.
picturing the Pepsi Man mascot pouring
chewing there.
Khrushchev. Hey, can we get an edit of that on the Instagram too, please, Rhys?
with Keegan's head on it, Pepsi Man. And so obviously that photo got around, and this Kendall guy was so happy with that. And he obviously wanted to like expand into the USSR and those areas. So much so that photo catapulted him so far up the ranks that he ended up becoming the CEO of Pepsi.
What the
Oh my
hell?
How about that? Not sure what year, but he did at some point.
Wow.
Is Pepsi even visible in that? Like, besides him pouring, can you see even like a logo or something?
Yeah, on the cup, I think. Cup
Yeah.
that he's holding, and the Pepsi thing.
Damn.
Like you can just see it. I'm sure there are more photos, but that's like the iconic photo,
Damn.
Wow.
apparently. Yeah, so then in 1972, wait, what was I saying?
I'm getting confused here.
So obviously, this Pepsi man, we'll call him Pepsi Man.
Yeah.
He was so adamant on just getting Pepsi. Like he was just like, we want Pepsi in there. We want to sell Pepsi to them. Like this is our big market. And in 1972, he succeeded and negotiated a cola monopoly, essentially locking out Coca-Cola
Jeez.
from that area.
Wow.
So they could just pump out Pepsi.
And Pepsi related drinks?
Essentially cola, from what I read.
Okay.
Cola-related beverages.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
LA Ice. No LA Ice for those.
No vanilla Coke?
Yeah, but we kind of said Coke, you know.
Okay, I'll try another one.
Any other one?
No.
Do you remember any other off-brand colas?
The cherry.
Oh no,
Or
like
is it, like-
different brands.
There's
Oh,
one called
like
different
home brands and
brands.
things
There's one
like
called
that.
Regal.
Oh, that's
Ah,
what
I think you get from
Regal,
Aldi.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
What's
like,
the brand of like Pasito? What's that brand with the bird on it?
Schwepp? What? The purple one?
Yeah.
The
It's like-
Schweppes, is it? Oh.
maybe
It's
they
got
own it, but
maybe.
I thought it was more like an Australian only. Like
Yeah,
you only
maybe.
get them in milk bar sort of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, what like
Yeah.
what else? Because all I'm thinking of is like Solo and stuff, but they're
Well,
that's
there
all
used
Coke.
to be a Virgin
Mm.
cola. Remember that? Richard
No?
Branson.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Or is it just for like planes or?
No, it was like I think it was actually my dad at one stage when we lived in the Middle East.
Mhm.
He was going to like start the Virgin Cola franchise with some other guy who had the contract to sell it in the Middle
Mm.
East. And then I think that something happened where Coke like killed
They
the whole
came in.
thing. Yeah,
Well, they
but I
weren't
think
in Russia, so
yeah, but I think Virgin Cola was big in like it's like South Africa and like countries that were just kind of Coke
Oh, shit.
weren't. Yeah, but
Ah.
they made a couple like yeah.
Could you imagine
Oh my
a
lord.
Virgin Cola plane, coming dive bombing onto a
Pepsi submarine. The Battle of the Colas. That's brilliant.
Yeah, Pepsi would win because they had submarines and
They would just pick them up.
destroyers and everything. Yeah. So, like I said, in 1972,
Okay.
negotiated Coca-Cola out. Unfortunately, only until 1985. And so the issue ended up being that the Soviet rubles were pretty worthless internationally. And the Soviets also prohibited taking the currency overseas. So the USSR
You get it.
and Pepsi typically ended up bartering and trading at things that weren't necessarily
Yeah.
cash money.
I think
Okay.
I can see where this is
So you
going.
can see where we're going. In return for Pepsi Cola, these were just some of the things that they traded and bartered. Pepsi received vodka to distribute in the US.
Yeah.
Particular brand, but I'm not even going to try
worry
to
about it.
pronounce it.
It wasn't Vok.
No, it was not vodka. By the late 1980s, Russians were drinking approximately 1 billion servings of Pepsi a year.
I believe that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty believable.
What's the
But
population?
also, like you think about it now, how widespread it is.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Well, yeah,
Think
what's the
about-
population back then?
No, I don't know. You look
Okay.
it up.
It's like 100.
We need Keegan here. That's why.
It was after World War II, was it? What year is this now?
Well, you said 20 years ago.
Yeah, let's say
20 years ago. Okay. Yeah.
Let's say 1988.
Okay. Well, I have no idea.
Damn,
It's
come
probably
on,
like
man.
probably 100 million or something. I'd
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Well,
Probably more than that.
here's a little callback to one of our previous episodes. I don't know which one.
Okay.
But Pepsi, in 1988, Pepsi broadcasted the first paid commercials on the local TVs, starring none other than Michael Jackson.
Really?
Yeah. But I couldn't find whether or not those Pepsi commercials were the ones that ended up horribly disfiguring his face.
What?
What do you mean?
Because wasn't there was a Pepsi commercial that he was doing, and then the firework burnt his face up.
What?
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
I have never heard this stuff.
Michael
Pretty sure-
Jackson's he got burnt or something.
You know how he was dark skinned and then he went white.
Didn't he have like?
Wasn't it a skin
I
condition?
don't think he had vitiligo, or vitiligo is
Okay.
the one where you go
Yeah, it's like
dark to white.
that. Wow.
Oh my
I didn't know
gosh.
that.
I'm almost certain that's what I have
Okay.
grown up knowing.
Wow.
I'm pretty
they-
sure he was doing a Pepsi commercial.
Yeah.
He was dancing on stage or something, and one of the firework things on the side of the stage
Yeah.
lit up, and his face
My
and hair caught on
gosh.
fire.
But
or
how
his
would
hair.
that change his whole skin tone?
I think he. I don't know. Don't know. Was he all white?
Or did he did he just go? Did he
Just
choose
get
to
everything
be-
It wasn't just
done.
on his.
to match the?
I don't think you can choose to do that, can you?
He had all the money in the world. He could do whatever he
Yeah.
wanted.
Like surely the lawsuit that he would have filed against
Mm.
Pepsi, if that was the case, whoever was filming that would be huge.
And he'd have all the
He's
money
the
to do
biggest
whatever he
star
wanted.
in the world. He gets
but-
his face.
Have you not seen the video of him going into like those luxury places? He's like, "Yeah, I'll get that vase. Oh, I want 2 of those in the bathroom." And he's like, they do the check. It's like $12 million for like just a walk-in thing.
Walk-in purchase.
Holy
He had
fuck.
Michael Jackson had some other sort of money. I don't know.
How the hell? Even if he had all the money, he would. I don't get the skin color thing.
I don't know. Maybe he also had revitiligo.
I think we
or
need
vitiligo.
Keegan to look it up. Keegan, can you have a look?
We're really needing him this episode.
Well, vodka ended up being quite popular
Yeah.
in the US.
Okay.
But due to the Soviet-Afghan War in the 1980s, wait, oh yeah, Pepsi wanted to kind of trade something else because there was the US kind of boycotted the vodka because they didn't want to like support the products that they were being given, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because of that, Pepsi ended up being the temporary owners of 17 submarines,
17.
3 warships,
What?
including a frigate, which I think is like a small gunship, a cruiser, which I believe is more like monitoring. Completely off the top of my head, don't quote me on this. And a destroyer, which kills things. So I think a destroyer is like when you think of the
ship,
the game
destroyer.
battle, or you think
Oh,
of
yeah.
a battleship. That's probably the one that comes
the main
to mind.
one.
The
Like
one with hella guns on it.
Hella guns.
So instead of getting vodka, they got submarines as
Yes.
payment. But what, like,
They would have been giving Pepsi, I assume, as the trade-off
yeah.
to get... And because they didn't want to take vodka, or weren't at the time taking vodka, they were open to other things.
So they got the submarines.
Or
and then-
money, of course. Like, because the ruble wasn't valuable, they wanted something else that they
they couldn't trade out.
utilize, I guess.
Were they just getting it for the purpose of selling it on to
Well,
someone
that's
else?
the unfortunate thing. It'd be cool if Pepsi still had a fucking,
Damn. That would have been
a
nice.
fleet of sea ships. Can you imagine?
Pepsi wages war on the world.
Yeah, that's-
Pepsi, the new Germany.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so
Pepsi
obviously,
Man on like the edge of the ship, at the front of the ship, like massive muscle guy.
all the bullets, all the missiles just have Pepsi on them and things. So they were only temporary owners
Gosh.
because they were like, okay, we can use these and sell these off.
Okay.
yeah.
I think majority of it ended up being sold for scrap. Believe it or not.
Wow.
As
Don't know
in,
whether that's
like, as in
scrap.
they were just rubbish. It was rubbish equipment, or
They
like,
were. It was old equipment, but I'm not entirely sure whether it was like they sold it for scrap and ended up
sell a
selling it
few
to other people.
missiles and
But
yeah.
otherwise, I'm pretty sure most of it went to somewhere that starts Norway, maybe.
Okay.
It was an oddly specific place, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But yeah, so they ended up just owning them temporarily to sell them off for scrap and try and
Yeah.
get some money essentially.
Well, if they were trying to get some money, do you guys know how much a submarine costs?
I've got a pretty good estimate.
Could you give it in terms of maybe a media franchise?
Well, let's just say what's a big one? Pokemon's pretty big.
Oh, okay.
How much do you reckon Pokemon's worth
I'm gonna say
in total?
I'll say 8 billion.
8?
Yeah.
Oh. How about 80?
Oh.
Well, we did fact check this a couple of days ago. But yeah, well, we were discussing how much a single submarine would cost.
Well, no, the thing was we compared. Sorry, I've also got Dan in the hot seat. His
Are you
really got
cooking?
the
Do you want
It's
sun.
all
us to,
good. I've got my little sunshade.
We'll get you
here.
an umbrella for next. We'll move you in the shade.
That we were figuring out what costs more. Pokemon, like every Pokemon thing,
Yeah.
That's ever existed, sold.
or a submarine, and they were exactly the same at 80 billion.
It's like every game, every card,
Every
every
TV
bit
show.
of content.
I feel like
every
I've
toy.
spent 80 billion on Pokemon stuff in my lifetime. Can't believe it.
Everything is one submarine. I couldn't believe
How does that
that.
even happen?
Also, it was a quick fact check on the submarine cost. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure we
I'm
looked
sure it
up.
was an expensive submarine. It
Yeah.
wasn't your
the
average
top,
submarine.
the top of the
It was
range,
your
luxury.
Pepsi. Yeah, it wasn't your Pepsi submarine.
Yeah.
Well, going back
That
to
is
the
so funny.
we'll wrap this up a bit quicker so Dan can get out of the hot seat. But so Pepsi also bought oil tankers and stuff and leased them out and things like that.
Okay.
Like
Really?
they were doing these different things to like
From Russia. They got
from
oil
Russia,
tankers,
from Russia, to essentially make money some other way than direct cash and credit deposits.
Yep.
And in return for some of those oil tankers, Pepsi would more than double the amount of plants in the Soviet Union. So it's
Oh.
like that's pretty good.
Wow.
They're
Yeah.
doing Pepsi doing big business.
Yeah.
What about today? What's it like? What's the market share like today between Coke and
Well,
Pepsi?
I will get to that very soon.
Alright,
Don't
alright,
you worry.
sorry.
And in the 1990s, a $3 billion deal was struck. So, like, it doesn't sound that exciting when we were just talking about $80 billion submarines. But it was the largest deal ever brokered between an American company and the Soviet Union. After that, Pepsi even launched another American institution because they owned this one in particular at the time, Pizza Hut.
Really?
And I
Yeah.
think they also did some deals where they were trading Pepsi for some sort of locally sourced tomato paste or something. So they were
Ah.
using that tomato paste to sauce up their Pizza Hut
Damn.
pizzas.
We got to get in on some of these Pepsi deals.
Well, actually, like Pizza Hut, and you talk about Dubai and Pepsi being number one. Pizza Hut was just everywhere
Yeah.
in
Mm.
Dubai. It was just every little street had one, and like that makes sense why Pepsi was so popular. They obviously just hammered
They
the
really
Well,
Yeah.
pushed
because
it
like
out.
free drink.
like
with
we have
every-
talked about, Macca's has a licensing deal with Coke.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I would imagine Pizza Hut.
same thing.
And yeah,
Same thing with Pepsi.
Yeah.
regardless of whether they own it still or not, I'm
Yeah.
sure that they'd
They still got a nice
still
little
have a
partnership.
nice, yeah.
There you go.
So, like I was saying at the very
Didn't know
start
that.
of this episode, as some of us know, the Soviet Union fell in 1991.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
we got there in
91,
the end.
Sorry.
Okay.
Got there in the end.
Yep.
90s
Uh,
kids.
Unfortunately, taking with it Pepsi's $3 billion deal,
Oh.
Damn. Holy fuck.
which is pretty rough. And they did try to put the deal back together. They got
With
a
who?
lot of the way. Well, that was the trouble. Instead of dealing with one single, the USSR, the Soviet Union, they had to make a deal with 15 separate countries.
True.
So it was pretty tough. And while that happened, Coca-Cola came swooping in.
Oh, shit.
So
In helicopters.
no, they had the airships.
Oh.
No. So Pepsi tried pretty hard to like hold its iron fist of the what was the Soviet Union. and
Yeah.
hold the Coca-Cola, be the cola king, but unfortunately that ended up
Gosh.
failing. Not sure when, but
Well, it also wouldn't happen. Coke was pretty popping in late 90s, 2000s.
well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. They Pepsi tried hard. They actually launched a giant replica Pepsi can up to the MIR space station. As,
Really?
I think as an ad or like some sort of show.
What?
For a commercial. There it is. And also erected 2 iconic billboards in one of Moscow's largest squares.
Could you imagine they sent that Pepsi can up to the space station, but the space station's already been bought by Coke? It was like Coke branded and everything.
Could you imagine you just blew up the space station?
Yeah.
That would suck.
What was
That'd
there
be the
Pepsi in it?
No, it was like a large Pepsi can.
Yeah,
but
but
it looked like a rocket.
But could you imagine if they just blew up the space station and that was their commercial? The worst commercial of all time.
Holy
All publicity is
well,
good
they've had-
publicity.
They've
I
had
mean,
worse
True.
commercials. They had that Kendall Jenner one
True.
a couple of years back.
Oh, I got some controversy.
It
That
was the
one.
like Black Lives Matter kind of protest from like 2017 or something.
Yeah.
And she fixes all racism in the world with a Pepsi.
And
Yeah.
police brutality.
Oh,
don't
sorry,
forget
and
that.
police brutality. That's right.
Yeah, that didn't last very long.
It
Did
was
it?
a
It was fun
misstep.
one.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure she made some money.
Yep.
And
Pepsi
that's what
probably did
it's
pretty
all
well out of it
about.
as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Russia to this day, apparently, is still is still Pepsi's second biggest market outside of the US.
Okay.
Ah.
So they still have a little sweet spot for their Pepsi
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola. But Coke ended up beating out Pepsi as Russia's most popular cola,
Really?
as it should.
Yeah, no surprise there.
So
Wow.
yeah, Pepsi was the first capitalist product in the Soviet Union.
Amazing.
And I wanted to ask what your favorite colas were, if there were any other besides
Right.
the 2 competitors, Cola
Right.
and Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Oh, you want like the brand? Oh.
Your favorite cola? I said Coke. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. Well,
You're a Pepsi man.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
Are
like,
you
they
like a-
kind of interchange them. Like, it's kind
Hmm.
of just whatever. We usually have Coke.
But are you like if you were a Pepsi guy or
Yeah.
are you like a Pepsi Max? You a Pepsi?
just straight?
just
Yeah.
Pepsi.
It's just straight.
I can't
yeah.
do
Coke?
if it.
You going-
Why would you drink it if it's not just the normal one? you
Yeah.
know?
Are you going Coke Zero?
No.
No.
Not
Well,
a
like people would
chance.
tell me, but like they get so addicted to Pepsi Max and things like that. Like there's something like it's so. Isn't there something?
Because what's Max? It's like
It no.
I was gonna say
sugar
Max
or
sugar,
something?
but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's no sugar.
And there's something else in there that's a sweetener,
Mm.
and it's like
Mm.
really, really good.
Wow.
You just have to like come back for it more.
Well, that's like.
So
Well, then you could
I
get
just
into
stick
like
to
a
the
whole.
sugar.
yeah, exactly.
It seems
A
safer.
good addiction.
Yeah.
You could go into like a whole thing with like the whole Diet Coke whenever that would have started, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's healthier for you." But it was like that. It
Yeah.
just was substituting the sugar for
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, and it sort of turns out that it's not as
That would be a good
I don't know.
topic. We should look into that.
Yeah.
We've done a Coke Sprite, but we could do
It
that.
is good looking at that stuff. Yeah,
And-
what are like the other? There's no other big one. Like they're the two big players.
But yeah.
Wonder who they've just bought up over the years. Are you just like
Well, is Schweppes owned by Pepsi now, or is
Wasn't it
Pepsi,
the other way
okay.
around? I think I'm pretty sure it's like I feel like Schweppes is like the conglomerate, but I may be wrong. They may be owned by like something like P&G or some, you know.
Nestle? They're probably
Dove,
everything's
yeah.
owned by fucking Nestle.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord! And Disney's gonna buy them all out.
yeah, buy everything.
Disney could buy us if they want.
We'd come and review all your shitty movies and everything. We'd do whatever you want.
Actually,
for the cash.
this is off topic. I did watch that Soul movie. Do we want to talk about stuff like that, or
Well,
Soul.
just give me 1 second.
yeah,
Yeah.
There was only one final question I wanted to ask, so I might as well just ask.
ask
it.
Yeah.
it, yeah.
Would you be willing to trade battleships and submarines for your product, regardless of what it is? Say you were selling Pepsis. Would that be on your list
Yeah.
of tradable things?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, imagine being like the person in sales in Pepsi in the 70s or whatever, and then going to your boss and being like, "Okay, this is going to sound weird, but we're gonna take some submarines in exchange." How does that even like
17
Yeah.
submarines.
like?
Oh, 17 is great, and there's like, oh, and there's a battleship,
Yep, battleship,
and
cruiser,
there's a
and I
What a-
think they chucked in the whatever the hell the other one was.
What a wild like ride.
I feel like that would have just been
Honestly.
like, we don't need like any more money, so that'd be kind of dope, right, boss?
Have you heard? Like,
Yeah.
Have you heard like after the Soviet Union, like in '91, when it all crashed, like there were soldiers just like selling helicopters and planes
What?
because like no one
Ah.
owned them anymore. Everything was just
Mm.
done, and they were sitting on the runways, and you could like fly out. People like coming from Florida and stuff, like, I want to buy this like attack helicopter,
Wow.
and like, oh, you know, it's like just whatever price they made
Yeah.
up,
Mm.
and the soldiers just took the money and just walked off, and
Wow.
they gave them the keys.
I'll
Like,
give
they
you
were
a
just- they
bunch of
just sold-
Pepsi for it.
Yeah, like, there's actually there's a guy who bought a submarine. He was meant to be doing it for like some drug trafficker or something, and
Okay.
he was in Florida, and he somehow had a connection, and he just went over and bought a
You know
submarine.
how much he bought it for?
Wow.
No, it's like it's a
80 billion.
it's Operation Odessa. It's like I think there's either a book about it
Okay.
or a documentary or something, but it's worth a listen to.
Okay,
Yeah, all right.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, please go to talk about Soul now.
No, I don't worry.
Oh, Soul.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about like a Soul, like the sun god or something. I was like, I don't remember them doing.
no,
What'd you watch it on Disney?
yeah,
Was it good?
A cartoon.
yeah.
All right, you're not racist then. Anti-racist check. He said it was good.
No, it was like because Disney has their like ebbs and Pixar because Pixar's Toy Story and Monsters Inc. and
Yeah.
Incredibles and stuff, and obviously they were like killing it. Like they had their like full stride back when they started,
Yeah.
and then they kind of had like their Cars 2, the Last
Yeah.
Dinosaur, like and then they had like Inside Out that came back up a bit, and then they had Onward and stuff.
Mm.
And then Cars 3, and then Cars 3's down here, and then they've come back up with Soul, so they're back.
Okay.
So it's like they're having the ebbs and flows, but this is like a true to their
A
good
big-
shit.
Wow.
It's good. Does it,
It
recommend?
was very, very good, and it's
Okay.
good for. We don't need to talk about it.
I will mention, I have seen someone on Twitter, they made comment of why they had to animate this white lady in particular to be so thick. And there seems to be a
In
reoccurring.
Soul,
Yeah. Pretty sure it was in Seoul.
okay.
But it was just,
I don't think I.
she
Oh,
was selling ice cream while she was on the beach or
oh
something.
no, I think it's from a short film.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think that's another topic to go into. Why Pixar make
Yeah.
mums have the biggest booties of all time. Think about The Incredibles.
Mrs. Incredible.
Yep. Think about every other one.
Yeah.
Big
Who
Hero
else?
6, I think.
That's not Pixar.
What was that?
That's just Disney.
Oh, well, they're all
Oh, the big.
horny animators. I don't know. It's weird.
Or maybe that's not Disney. Maybe that's DreamWorks. I don't know. But that's
They're
a
all-
good thing. Why
That is a
is
good
that?
point.
But it's only like moms, or because
Well, the dads are always like a triangle,
Yeah,
like
A Dorito.
Dorito, like Mr.
that's
Incredible.
actually so true. Like, yeah, they have a
But not all the
skinny
women
waist
are.
and
It's just like the trope of like the two comedy people. It's like one's always fat and stout, and the other one's like tall and lanky and
Mm.
skinny. Like,
yeah.
they're like, oh, they're different,
Has
but
it-
they're both funny.
Has there ever been like a comment on like why that was a choice?
The
like-
thick mums.
Like, yeah, did like who did
'Cause they're
Incredibles?
all-
Brad Bird. Did he ever say why that
Not
was
sure.
the choice?
But it's just like when I watched Incredibles 2 months before, people were all like, why the hell Miss Incredible so thick? And like there's scenes of her like riding the bike, and the shots just like what? Why is this a shot? And like there's like shots from behind. It's like what?
Maybe because I
Weird.
think Incredibles would have been the start of it. Because I'm thinking like Andy's
and
mum
also,
in
sorry.
Toy Story isn't that thick.
I don't remember looking
I don't
at it.
remember her being particularly thick, but I think Toy Story. Toy Story is like a safe.
Was Peach thick? I mean, not Peach. Princess.
You
No.
couldn't see because she had the cage.
What's her name?
dress.
From what?
Little
Bo
Bo Peep.
Peep. Yeah.
Bo Peep.
Yeah, you
No,
can
she
see.
in the fourth one, she's not wearing the dress, and I think she was a little bit maybe.
Ah.
Well, I'm sure you all remember the scene from the first Incredibles when Mrs. Incredible gets stuck between the two sliding doors.
Yeah.
And her ass is just out.
When her leg gets
Dan's
stuck.
pretending to try and remember.
Yeah, Dan, you know it.
I think I
Yeah,
remember. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what the hell's up with them animators, but
Jeez,
I'm
that's
sure
a good
they've got to
point.
get through the day somehow.
Were the bugs in Bugs Life thick? I don't think
the
any.
ladybug.
Nah, they were
man.
pretty.
I
Oh,
don't know.
I'm trying to think of like.
Caterpillar was pretty thick.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's a good topic.
Mr. Potato Head. You see his
Mrs.
cheeks.
Potato Head.
I mean, yeah, they got the same body. Didn't want to go, straight for the kill.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Brave. That
I
Scottish
haven't
one.
seen that one.
Mm,
Maybe
I don't recall.
there might have been a mum in that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some research on this.
All right.
We'll get back in a
Group
couple of
topic.
weeks. Shit.
All right. Well, yeah. So that was how Pepsi owned the
Incredible.
6th largest submarine fleet in the world
The
at one
sixth
point in
largest.
time.
Damn, that's clutch.
Yep.
Okay, well, before we go, Dan, you know the drill. You got a trophy behind you.
Yep.
Reach into my little bag here. We got the girls under 14 A2 runners up, sponsored by Subway.
Oh
Wow.
So
I hate that place.
Speaking of submarine.
I'll pass it to Rhys and he'll pass it around to you.
Ooh.
So you can add that to your nice little collection there.
That's gonna go on the cabinet pretty well.
I'm actually surprised you
Nice.
kept your last one because I spoke to one of our last guests.
Yeah.
A name who won't be mentioned.
We'll say Grace, and she's just like, "What do I want this for?"
What do you mean? What do they do with it? You just threw it out? Or?
Well, I was like, "Well, then throw it out. I'll re-gift it."
I'll
Yeah,
reward
hopefully
it.
Dan wants it.
Look, happy to take it.
No, you'll get fresh ones first. We'll make sure of it.
Yeah, we don't give our special guests.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
gifts to-
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought,
Yeah.
what's Harriet done with hers?
I think it's I pretty sure she just nailed it to her wall, right above her bed.
She took the
It's
cross
like
down,
some kind of.
put up the.
No, she didn't even nail it. She just crammed it so far into the drywall.
In the
just,
plasterboard.
Yeah, it's just stuck there.
Okay. Well, thanks, Harriet.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
very
bit of a
nice.
draft in there, but it looks good.
All right. We're going to say bye.
All right.
Farewell, my rest in peace. So
So-
my, oh my lord, what
Oh.
the hell? Yeah, let's cut this. Bye.